Alrighty. Good evening, YouTube. Good evening, Twitch. Alrighty. So, let's get hacking today. Let's go to our backlog. Let's see what we want to do. Had a very long day at work. So yeah, I wasn't sure if I'm going to stream today. But some good people on Discord kind of made me do it. Alright, cool. So alright. Okay, so let's start with some things. So I did some things offline, off stream. So we're going to start with something pretty simple. And that's going to be ensuring that the scroll as we switch from view to view always really ends up on the top, right? We can see now that Bexy, play one game. Good. I love you, man. I'm very happy to always see you, dude. Always happy. All right, so let's start fixing things. So yeah, I did some nice changes off stream, and I'm starting to like some of the recent things. Let's now fix a trivial thing, but it's very important. So I noticed this long ago, and I just made this task today. Basically, as you switch from different views, right, you can see that the scroll actually follows the previous view. So if I come to my profile, right, you can see that it's actually not. So the scroll should be on the top, right? So let's actually I haven't used ChatGPT in actually a couple of days. So so what's the best way to ensure scroll to the top when switching views in React? It seems to me that in our programmer network project, once I switch from one view to another, the scroll position is carried over. Yeah, exactly. But I think I implemented this long ago already. Don't we have scroll to somewhere, right? So we have it in the course, right? I guess we only have it in specific places, right? For example, yeah. All right, so maybe we should centralize. Matty, my dear friend, good evening. So I guess we could, yeah, I guess we could put this in the app.jsx, right? To ensure this same functionality everywhere, right? Now, we would probably have to say something like window.location.pathname, right? That would be our dependency, right? All right, let's take a look at that. So now if we try to go somewhere, so I say log in, let's actually, yeah, now it still doesn't work. No, that's kind of sucks ass. Let's see. So let's see what's happening. Let's see, and I'm gonna read the question in just 2 seconds, fellas. Give me just one moment, please. I'm genuinely curious about this. So let's actually print this bad boy here. What the fuck happened here? That was an awkward print statement. All right. So if I refresh, so now I go to my profile. Okay, so now it seems to be opening it properly, right? So if I do this and go here, okay, good. So I think it's good. Let's take a look at that. So if I go back to profile, yeah, so that's good. I go here. Yeah, so this one wasn't good, right? You can see. So see what happened there when I clicked it. That's a little bit weird. It's super strange. Actually, it's incredibly strange. Yeah, why is this the thing, right? Almost as if this thing is no longer being executed. Let's take a look at that. And then give me just 2 seconds, fellas, and I'm reading the questions, I promise. Yeah, so maybe that's the reason, right? We can see that this effect is actually not fired, right? So most likely, yeah, so the effect is not fired. All right, got it. Okay, Yeah, I mean, it would be the best if it was actually fired. All right, let's just read the questions. Hey, Alex, did apply for ML with? Just give me a second here. I need to read the question. What is PyTorch? With formula PyTorch, what is that? Ah, I see, yeah. So machine learning engineer with PyTorch, the junior will have into your honors. Any tips? Any tips to throw welcome any? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have many tips. It's just I would need more context, right? What type of position is it, right? If you could send me, if you could send me the job ad that you applied to, then I can maybe read that, and then I can, I'm happy to give you my opinion at least. Yeah. Let me just try one thing very quickly here. Yeah, so you can see that's problematic. It's a silly thing, but problematic, right? And that's mainly because this thing isn't getting fired at all. Wait a minute. Okay, let's try one thing. Okay, same, man. I can't wait, dude. It's coming close. It's coming close for sure. Did we like cause some sort of a... Ah, I see what's happening. Okay, shit, that kind of sucks, right? Okay, never mind. We can't really use location here because... Yeah. Let me just debug this just for a bit. So why didn't it fire it? Why didn't... It's so awkward, man. Wait a minute. Alright, let's see what this fella said. Alright. Let's just get rid of this dependency then. Let's just try it like this. I don't know what peer weight software is, no. Motherfucker. Yeah, alright, let's get rid of that. So that doesn't work. So let's see. No, that's not what we want, no. No. Leo, my friend, good evening. Yeah, I just want to centralize this, right? Andreas, good evening, Andreas. Not much, man. Just started the stream a couple of minutes ago. I mean, Bexy, right? So when it comes to interviews, right, there's no secret ingredients, right? At more interviews you do, more confidence you get, right? So it's kind of very difficult to give you something tangible, right? Because you know, you will be shy and you will be stressed out and you will feel awkward, and everybody does. If it makes it any easier, right? It's the same for all of us, right? I don't think that anyone is really an exception to that rule, right? So, you know, try to relax, and I mean, it's not, you know, you don't need a job. You're not gonna die if you don't get a job, right? It's always a battle, right? You just have to. Zeotic, my friend, good evening. It's always it's a journey that you have to go through, right? There's no, I don't know what to say. There isn't really, you know, just try to relax and focus on, you know, things that you know and things that you don't know equally, even more, right? Right? So that's really all you can do. Yeah, but I doubt that somebody who is watching my stream for 3 hours a night is in that danger zone. I somehow doubt that, right? I somehow doubt that. Okay, so now we're going to back to improving. I'm not from Germany, but I've been using Hetzner for 15 years, if not more, maybe even 20 years. Hetzner was one of the, when I was also very young, Hetzner was one of the first hosting companies I used. I love Hetzner a lot. They served me well for many years. All right, so let's balance a bit chat and work, right? We just started the stream, but I need to get some work done as well. So let's kind of balance it a little bit, right? Otherwise, it's gonna be just another influencer stream, right? Just talking bullshit. Okay, so we have that. There we have this max width 2XL, right? Yeah, so that probably shouldn't be accurate anymore. It should probably be like wider. But then that being wider, right, we probably want to obviously narrow that down with more content, right? So actually, so if I do something like this, and I do something like, let's just create some layout, right, that we need. So, okay, blah, 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 that's great. Let's just try something. So let's say grid calls 3. Let's actually say here maybe 5XL. Yes, and this fella here, we're gonna say that this is class name with 3XL. Is there such a utility class? With, no, I don't think so. Or is there? Or can't we say here grid calls, no, grid span, how was it? Wasn't there like call span? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we say here, so here we can say maybe 9. I don't actually know. Let's just play with it a bit, right? And then with those two fellas right here, we can say, hey, all right, that's cool. Here we can say 2. So we can say 4 in here. I don't know, let's just figure it out a bit. Okay, just constructing some sort of a layout, right? It's just a little bit weird. Let me take a look at that now. So we have this. So no, so actually it's okay, right? So that's almost, so we have 9 columns. I mean, we could kind of work with 12 columns maybe, right? And then we could say here a 4, 4, and 4 as well. Or we could say 6, 3 and 3, right? It doesn't really matter. Okay, great. Cool. All right, so next thing we want to kind of make here in the feed is we want to put some sidebar, right? So that's what we are basically doing now. And we have these tags, right? I think we have a tags page. Many of you don't even know that there's actually a page called tags, and then you can find some tags. So like there's a JavaScript tag here. You can view all tags, and I'm sure that like, is there some tag that actually, let's see. So we'll need to put some of these things there, right? So where is it? Okay. So there's a tags view. Let's go and take a look at that. Oops. Why did I do that? That's a little bit awkward. Okay. So let's search for this tags view. I'm sure that there's a tags view, right? Views tags, exactly, right? So here it is. So we get the tags, fail to load tags, la 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 la, right? All right, so let's try playing with that a little bit. So let's go here to feed, right? And when you get to the feed, we will, yeah, we'll probably want to cache this and stuff. Let's not lose our sleep over that yet. And let's do this. Let's call this that. And I'll just for fun, I just want to see something, right? Let's just play with it a bit, right? So we do this, and tags is not defined, yeah. So this, and right, and we say, yeah, we can maybe use a tag from Yale, right? But we might have, okay. So that's, we're done. Fire alarm, Jesus Christ. All right, and what did we do in Yale? So what this takes now the name, the tag takes a name, right? Okay, that's great. So here now we have to say name and then tag, I suppose, right? And then here tag dot name maybe. Or what does the tag actually have? Let's take a look at that. This. What else can we import? Is loading, okay. So here we can actually say, we can add a loading state in here. So we can say is loading. Then we can say null, otherwise just for fun. Let's just see how it is. Okay, so yeah, so that's kind of it, right? There's shit tons of tags there. Okay, that's obviously not what we want to show. Is just we're just kind of fishing a little bit here with things we want to do, right? Okay, cool. And then we have this class name, which I actually don't know if it does something. Okay, it does something for sure. And yeah, let's play with it. So flex, let's say flex call maybe. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff here. Do we want to show this like this? Of course not, right? Of course we don't. But give me a second here. Yeah, but yeah, let's keep on fishing a little bit, right? So we're just trying to figure out what we can show here on this page. So and yeah, these tags. So so right now I'm getting this from v1 tags. So if you take a look at our API, right? I think at one point in time I had an endpoint with actual tags which were sorted by count of articles and stuff like that, right? But let's see. We'll see about that soon. All right, going back here. So we have these tags. No, I don't actually like that. I don't like that. It's just yeah. Okay, let's revert that. So I think I know what we're gonna do. So let's actually go to our API. So where is the v1 tags actually? So So here it is, prefix tags router. Let's see what I have here. So tags router, shit. So I think this would only be useful basically if we would get the tags by some sort of popularity, right? So for example, by the number of articles that each tag has or something like that, right? But yeah, either way, we'll see in a second. Okay, so if I go back here and if we go back to this view over here, it's a little bit strange. Give me a moment. So if we go to actually slash tags, if we go to view all tags, yeah, okay. All right, so let's go back to this bad boy here. And yeah, we're gonna do the same thing, right? So here we're gonna say nav link, right? Nav link. We're gonna get rid of this. And then here we're gonna say to. We're gonna say tags, tag.name, right? And then we're gonna say, obviously, we're gonna move this key because of yes. So now that should take us to corresponding tag pages, right? We'll need to improve that. It's been so long since we built that, but it's okay. It's just there's so many. I don't think that thing should be there, but I will see about that soon. Yeah, definitely not. We can't show that like that. No. All right, so let's just keep that there for a moment, just for fun. And then here to the right, we can have some links. We can have some sort of menu, right? To showcase some of the things, right? But we could also have that here, right? If we actually go back to the feed over here, we had this developers tab, articles tab, blah, 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 right? So what we could technically do, right, is... yeah, let's take a look at that. We go over here now, right? Let's do something like this. ul li by 4. Yeah, so let's say here programmers, articles, whatever. Yes. Somebody on YouTube asking what's happening. 7.3. Where did this thing disappear now? A little bit awkward. Is it because of the call span? It is. Okay. So yeah, we'll need to figure out. Dimitrovic, good evening, buddy. What was the error highlighting you're using? The error highlighting? What do you mean, Smadi? You mean in VS Code? The extension in the VS Code? It's called error lens. How can I contact you? You are contacting me now, man. And that's the only way you can contact me. programmers articles. Okay, so what we want to show here now. So we want to maybe expose some of the links, maybe not. My pleasure, Smarty. My pleasure, man. Maybe some sort of latest articles or whatever, right? So that's now the question, right? That's the problem, right? So if we go to, was it articles, right? Where was this? Let me actually see. Articles tab. Yeah, so we had this bad boy here, right? And then we had the infinite list, I see. So kind of we had, I mean, you can sign up and see the purpose, man. It's just another social platform. That's it. Its purpose is for people to write, share knowledge, and communicate, just like with any other social platform ever created. The purpose is the same. Okay, so I guess, I mean, you have YouTube, Udemy, any resource, man. You can go to YouTube and find 5,000 courses on Postgres, right? So it's not about resource, it's about doing the thing, right? You have to do it, right? The resource is honestly the least relevant. There's resources where you learn from has very little significance in it, right? Very little significance. All right, actually, let me try something. I mean, this is what we had before, right? No matter which resource you use, right? You have to do the work, right? I wouldn't give too much importance to the resource itself. If you don't put in the work, which resource you're using is absolutely irrelevant. It's gonna make no difference for you. Tabs is not defined. Wow, okay. That's kind of funny. And yeah, so now I think, yeah, this fellow is messing up. That's okay. So yeah, let me try what we had before. Let's just see what's farting out now. Wow, that was crazy. Okay, so yeah, so putting this back, what we had, and we're gonna improve that a little bit, right? Programmers, okay. So I guess in this context here, use tabs location. Let's see what am I doing here? How did I implement this? So yeah, so I suppose the issue right now is that what the fuck is happening, man? Is it like doing the okay, so it's doing this because I see. Because of that, right? I see. Okay. I see what's happening. Okay, no problem. I think what we can actually do in this case, we don't actually maybe even need we can just do it in memory, right? We don't even maybe need these tabs, right? Or in simple words, we can maybe just we can do this differently if I don't want to support the actual URL parameters, right? So yeah, let's actually maybe try that. Let's try to simplify it a bit. So so we can remove actually most of this stuff, right? So we can grab this. Let's see. I mean, I'm not quite sure, right? I'm not fully sure, but let's give it a shot, right? So let's get rid of this. And yeah, these are just going to be maybe divs or something, right? And yeah, so here we can just have a simple use state, right? Yeah, exactly, right? No, definitely not. And then let's say use state. And then let's say here, thoughts, right? So very primitive implementation, right? Okay, we do this. And then over here we say, yeah, on click, set selected thoughts, right? And we're gonna do the same for this one and this one, with the exception is gonna be articles, and this is gonna be programmers. And then which one is shown is gonna depend on this. So we can loop through this, right? We can make this a little bit smarter. Let's first just see if that's what we want. So we can say here, if selected is thoughts, and this, right? And then, yeah, the same pretty much thing with these two, right? So this one and this one, if selected is this fella, right? Articles, and then if selected is programmers. And yeah, so of course now we need, this was a little fallacy here. We can't just, those handlers are in the wrong place, so that's great. All right, cool. And then here, let's just put these 3 strings. Let's say ul li by 3. And let's literally just say thoughts, articles, and programmers. And we'll actually just do this, and then we'll clean it up in a moment. If this is what we want, we're just figuring out what it is that we actually want. I don't know yet. Let's get there. Okay. There's no articles, programmers. There's no, yeah, so articles, we broke that. We need to fix that. Programmers are here. So that's good. Okay, so let's do something about that. Let's say here, class name, yeah, flex gap 2. And let's actually see what's wrong with the articles. I think we messed up that. There's a regression there. Yes, by user tag. So this got messed up. Cannot read the property of ID. So let's go to the API and fix that by user tags, right? So this fellow over here is saying, hey man, I see, I know what the problem is. Yeah, I know what the problem is. Yeah, I know what the problem is. We can't really, yeah, we're calling this endpoint, right, which requires, John, good evening to you as well, man. How are you doing? So yeah, you can see that this is get articles by user tags, right? So we cannot really call that in there because, well, we used to be able to call that, but now since we're opening up the platform so you don't have to be logged in to see the content, this is no longer gonna do, right? So, give me 1 second. What's your dev environment? I don't know what you mean. You need to be a bit... Aha, you mean that. Yes, so this is a computer for streaming, yes. And yeah, I'm using Windows Linux subsystem too. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Yes. So yeah, maybe calling this get all articles would be more correct in this context, right? And hopefully I have sorted them when we implemented this very long ago. All right, let's see. Let's actually go to README. Let me take a look at my Swagger. I don't actually remember how I implemented this. So No, that's not it. No. Yeah, let me just figure it out. So we need to figure out which one we want to call. Yeah, so this actually would be the correct one to call, right? If you take a look at this, yeah. So maybe that would be the correct one, right? And get all articles essentially is, so it's not /all, that's a little bit weird. That's what's confusing. Okay, I see. All right, cool. So let's go to the feed, right? Let's go to this articles tab. And somewhere here I must have a service or something that's calling this, right? So let's see, where am I getting these articles from? So here's the infinite list. Here's the list item. So there has to be use infinite list article, blah blah blah. So where am I? What am I actually calling? Rows. Where I'm getting this row? Ah, okay. So use infinite selected. I see, by user tags URL. Okay. So yeah, so if we just, so this should be conditional and should be based, I'll show you in a second, but if I just change this like this, then this should technically work now, and it does, right? So we can now get them, right? And I will just clean up some stuff here, so we'll actually get rid of this. Yeah, that's great, right? Okay, but now what did we do? Well, so we'll need to do a little, we'll need to revert something in the API, and that is, let's actually go back in history. I recently removed some, okay, so no, this is actually correct. No, let's go to the router. So if we go to the articles router over here, I'm sure that at one point, yeah, exactly, right? So you can see here, I've removed this Fastify decorator, which ensures, which deserializes the user on the request object, right? And puts it there. So, so we need to put that back, right? Because this one is getting the articles by your preference, by the tags that you are following, right? But yeah, for now, let's just leave it like this. It's okay. For now, let's leave it like this. Yeah. All right, so going back to the front. Are you using Docker? Well, I mean, again, you would need to be more specific with that, depending where. I'm using Docker for my infrastructure and stuff. I'm not developing with Docker, no. All right, cool. So that's cleaned up a bit. Let's get rid of all of this crap. And let's see, we'll see what this is going to turn into. I don't know yet. We're in a process of figuring out things. How's your project different? Well, I mean, if you... I don't know how to respond to that, right? It's different literally in every way. Unless you have a feed that you can post to on Stack Overflow, please send me the link. I want to see it. If you have meetups and various other things, please send me these links so I can use it. All right. Yeah. So let's do something like this. MB4. Program. Yeah. It would be better if, yeah, I wish maybe if these were the buttons or something. I don't actually know, right? And we'll clean this up. We'll loop through this stuff. So let's just boilerplate it. Let's say hover. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do something like this. Well, look, these guys have reached out to me, you know, they gave me free subscription just to sponsor them. It's basically a platform for learning various different subjects in programming in an interactive way. You kind of get, you can try it out, I mean, for free. I would advise, I would give it a shot. I think it's a cool concept, for sure. All right, never mind. I don't know what to do with that, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's a valid question, I mean, because I'm so smart that you start evaluating my intelligence from 9 onwards. Well, from 9 to 10, basically, right? So yeah, so I think I don't actually know, to be honest. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with this, to be very frank with you. But let's try a couple of things. I don't actually know. Numinix, and good evening, my friend. How are you? Numinex. Nyminex. 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 Yeah, man, I feel your pain. I had a very long day at work today as well. If Leo didn't write, I wouldn't be streaming today for sure. For sure, I wouldn't be streaming. Yes, yes, it is. Yes, GitHub is already social. Yes, exactly. Programmers, articles, thoughts. Yeah, and then we have this crap. So it really boils down now to, do we need a sidebar for anything, really? Let's go to production. Let's go to programmer network. What did I actually leave there now? Let's see here, sign in. So should we just still leave it like this, or should we, because the question is, should we have these tabs like this or not? That is the ultimate question, because I think fundamentally the problem here is that it's not very scalable if they're in the top. So what if we would actually keep them in here? Like this maybe, right? And then you can switch, and that's not mobile friendly. Of course, we would need to do that. We'll need to change that a little bit for mobile. Yeah, I don't actually know. I'm not so sure, but for sure this would give us a little bit more more to work with, right? Let me just try one thing. Give me a second. No, I'm not so sure. But yeah, either way, so yeah, maybe we can, maybe we'll do an experiment for a month or two with the sidebar, right? Yeah, maybe we will, right? Interesting. It's kind of interesting that they're still moving. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let's maybe try dotted. Yeah, let's do that. Dotted. Yeah, I mean, I want it to be interesting, right? And it's just I don't actually know, man. The UX is the hardest thing out there, right? And us doing this live on the stream doesn't also make it easier, right? So who the hell knows, right? Who the hell knows? It's a tough one, right? It's a tough one for sure. Exactly, right? Exactly, I agreed with you. Okay, let's try one thing. I'm gonna actually nuke this stuff. Nah, not really, right? It's yeah. Not really, right? But I think it's okay, right? With now just having one sidebar instead of two, right? That potentially could not be. Maybe that isn't terrible, right? I had to confirm. Yeah, I played with these borders a couple of days ago off stream. Yeah, I like them as well. It's just I don't know if I can justify having a sidebar now. I don't know what to use it for, right? That is the biggest problem, because we had this before on top of here, and that kind of made sense, right? Just kind of try now justifying why do we have this sidebar? What are we going to use it for? But then on the other hand, right? There are various things we can use it like for meetups eventually and for other things, right? Maybe we can show like latest developers who signed up or whatever, right? No, not really, right? Pretty terrible. I don't know. It's a little bit difficult, right? I just did. I think you just saw it. I think you were a minute late, maybe due to the lag. Yeah, it wasn't great, right? I think that this font isn't right. It's not very good for that sort of stuff, right? It's just not the great font for. It just doesn't look good, right? What the fuck is going on? Yeah, okay. I mean, that's what it is, right? I mean, I need to internalize this in my brain, right? So I think it's perfectly fine. There's just no justification to keep this in here, right? I can't find a single reason, right? That is the problem. I can't find a single reason why to have this sidebar right now. I just don't think that I don't think that there's anything that I have to put inside there, right? That's just how it is. Yeah, I just don't need it. I don't need this. We just don't need it. We're not gonna just put it just so it's there, right? Makes no sense. Right? I mean, you should not just put it just so we have it. It makes kind of no sense, right? This is where we had it before for a long time, and honestly, now when I look at it, it still has the most, it still makes the most sense, it seems, right? Because, you know, this is not like a Twitter, right? We have other links for other things, right? The feed is not for everything, right? The platform has more than just that crap, right? No, I mean, yeah, I think honestly this is fine. This is kind of how we had it before, right? It's just I wanted to see if there's... It's just I don't need the tabs yet. I don't know what to put in there, right? Because again, we need to go and round up the meetups and courses and some of this stuff. But these things have their own views, right? And they're relatively complex. We can't smack this in here, right? This is the feed. This is just stuff to find content, right? And then there's, yeah, maybe we could have put these links in here, but then that's also useless, right? Because you want to be able to get to these places from anywhere, right? So, so yeah, that's just how it is. I think that's just how it is. Give me 1 second. Yeah, we'll need to fix that a little bit, yes. But yeah, I think we still need to keep this one here. I see no reason not to, right? And we will. I think we're gonna do that. And maybe we could also do like tags, right? We could technically showcase all the tags we have in there. Then here we could say this maybe, right? Yeah, that kind of sucks. Okay, we'll not do that for now. All right, cool. Where's the tags again? Here, right? Yeah. Let's clean that up. All right, well, yeah, that's what it is, right? Let's actually log out. Can we still access this? Yeah, we can. Let's just do maybe another thing here. Then maybe just as well, let's do... No, okay, just wanted to try. All right, that's what it is. That's how it is. All right, so let's push this, right? I actually, is there anything in the API that we need to? Yeah, I mean, we have protected that. That's okay. So let's push this to production. So spend like an hour figuring things out, and then we'll clean it up. Let's just push it so it works. And then, yeah, we'll let's just say improve feed. And then you can also click around and see if it works. So let's do this, sync changes. Let's go to Cloudflare pages. Outflare pages. All right, it's building. Then we'll take a look at that. Let's take a look at the backlog very quickly. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff we have to do, for sure. All right, let's wait for this to deploy. I'll also check it on my laptop here. It's right next to me. Yeah, let me actually check it here as well. Programmer.network. Let's see. All right, okay, great. Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay for the most part. Let's see. Yeah, we'll need to have some min width, whatever, so it doesn't jump. But I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, all right, cool. Cool, all right, let's also test here. So yeah, you can see basically that it kind of, due to the spinner, it kind of almost glitches, right? But you can see as you jump around, it's fine. It's okay. Okay, great. Cool. All right, let's, where's the robot, right? Like, is it possible to centralize this logic somewhere for the entire application? So it does this scroll for each view. Let's abuse the robot a bit, like Numinix says. Use that robot, right? Yeah, exactly, right? Limao. Yeah, that's a good one. Limao is a good one. Yeah. Limao. Limao. Let me try one crazy thing. Who cares? Limao. We have location there already. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. This is production. Let's go. All right, so it seems, let's see now. Wait. All right, now it works. Okay, great. Getozy, good evening. Every day at work, exactly. Okay, so now it's actually sending. Okay, so let's push this to production immediately as well, right? Let's just say here, scroll, always scroll, keep scroll on the top, view changes, right? Sync changes, beautiful. Okay, so that's great. So let's move this one to done. In progress, done. Yeah, so this menu basically is the next thing we should tackle down, right? Because yeah, right now, as you can see, if you say write an article, right? Oh, actually, this is even worse. What happened there? What the fuck? Wow, okay. That's beautiful. But yeah, I think this is okay. Let me do one thing. I think this is caused by this navigation thing, right? The thing that we're just deploying, we should try and cancel this deployment, right? It's most likely related to this, right? Let's double check that. What the fuck is going on with the VS Code, man? Right. Did we cancel it? We did. Okay, great. Yeah, it was in fact caused by this, right? Okay, got it. I see. Okay. Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. All right, let's go there, right? So essentially the problem now is that that's the task that I created is that, yeah, when you click on some of these things, right, it takes you to the wrong place, right? So for example, each one of these should take you really now to, so for example, to this one here, right? So let's start fixing them one by one, right? Because, you know, we've refactored a lot of stuff and I never got back to this. So essentially, yeah, so this is the problem. So, hey, go to dashboard, manage article, and navigate to new article carrying this HTML5 history state, right? Yeah. And it's a little bit weird because it doesn't actually match that route, right? So if we... Yeah, so here it is, articles, dashboard, manage article, active route mapping. So this is something I implemented, some hook. And here it is, right, manage article, right? And then render a new article. So for whatever reason now, it doesn't actually take us there, write an article, right? We end up here instead of here and then here. Wait a minute. No, this is the wrong thing. What the fuck am I doing? Dashboard, manage article, yeah. So let's see what are we doing wrong there, right? It's been so if we get over here and go to write an article, I can see there's a quick would you stream if you had a 1 viewer? Of course not, no. I mean, not because of the viewers. I don't give a shit about viewers. It would be pointless, right? It's just I would just be live somewhere slowing myself down, right? That would make no sense, honestly. Dashboard, manage article. So all of this is pretty much good, right? So I suspect that something's off in here, right? I think because let's take a look at that. Write an article, yeah. It's almost like this thing doesn't match it, right? Let's actually see current tab index. Let's print this. Yeah, so you can see, so the current, so 0, 1, 2, so that's actually correct, right? So the initial index is correct, and then something happens, and then the index gets messed up, right? So that is the problem, and so it has to be here in the active map routing, right? So let's let me just try this, because I implemented this, but I don't remember what I did. Give me a second. Yeah, so for sure there's something inside of this hook, right? Let's see what's happening. So it has to be that this here is happening, right? Let's take a look at this. It has to be something in there that's messing this thing up, right? So, okay, so the index is -1. And then we're like, hey, if the index is -1, then use the first index, first thing, right? 25 gold, my friend. Good evening. So that is the problem. So the question now is, why is this -1? Let's see. So this is what we have to debug here, right? So let's now, let's return this, right? Now let's print name and actual tab name. Right? So let's go here and let's go here, here. Yeah, that makes no sense. So I think the main issue here is that we haven't really yeah, I think we just haven't implemented this hook in a way that it handles these cases, right? Because I can see that, yeah, it doesn't cover nested cases, right? So that's why it does this. That is the problem, right? So the worst case, right? But this active routes mapping, this is what I kinda created for that. So it seems that this is no longer properly working. So did I write this crap? Yeah, I did. I did write this crap. Okay. So wait, what do I do? Find tab index, use... The fuck did I do here? I don't even remember that I wrote this, but I did. Come on, man. Will you click it? Let me close the API code base here. So it gets the current, the index that it gets is correct. Then it re-renders, and then it gets a wrong one. There we go. That's so fucking weird, man. That's so weird, man. And the reason why I have this, right? So the reason why we have this thing is that if you refresh, right? So if I go to articles and I refresh, it kind of remains there, but it does seem to be doing that quite well already. Right? What if I do this? Give me a sec. Yeah, so yeah. Maybe we just don't need this effect. Maybe that's what's causing it to get messed up. And yes, so wait a minute. There we go. Okay, great. Wow. So freaking crazy. Nice. Okay, that's great. And then same goes with the course, right? Create a course, I suppose, right? Is that how I built it here? Yeah. Same bullshit. Okay. I guess, I mean, due to the nature of these streams, we just never finish this. We probably came to this point and then we switched to something else at one point, right? So create a course. Create a meetup. Write an article. Share a thought. So that's kind of... This, I think, actually, we're gonna nuke from here. The fuck is happening? And we'll need to replace that by some of the stuff that we open sourced. We will do that at one point. Seaplane 1, good evening, buddy. All right, well, cool. You know what? Let's push it. Leo, my friend, I'll see you most likely after tomorrow, buddy. Sleep well, dude. I know it's late there. I know it's late there. My pleasure, man. Of course. All right, cool. So I think this should be, for the most part, fine. We can say that this is in fact done, right? Yeah, and then this is another issue. Well, you're a big boy now, as we said, right? You have your own place now, so I mean, you know. Poor Leo, exactly. Alright, cool. You're in... I see, man. And you're still coming to my stream. That's what I call dedication. That's what I... Have a beer, man. Have a beer or two. And you're gonna sleep like a baby. Yeah, I can see that we did something with a spinner, right? So I think we have fucked up the spinner in certain places, which messes certain things up, right? I can see that when we... That's most likely happened when I started switching to... Give me a second. Meetups. I'm just refreshing like crazy intentionally. But where was this? On meetups, right? Yeah. So let's take a look at that, at least what we can visually see ourselves. So let's go to meetups view. And I suppose there's a spinner here. Yeah, exactly. So the problem here is, right, is that we probably have to say, what is it, width 12, right? Yeah, you can see this blue thing here, right? It's super large, right? Yeah, that's super weird. You see how it flashes when I refresh, right? Just give me a second here. Yeah, but that's not that one then, right? So which one is this? Oh, there's this one. Ah, I see. Meetup list. So here we have to say with 12, right? Yeah, that's super weird. There's something super strange there. Yeah, all right, cool. We'll need to brush up on a lot of these things, unfortunately, because also yeah, we haven't finalized that transition to the new library that we open source, so we'll need to do that for a couple of streams for sure. All right, great. Let me just go to production very quickly. All right, cool. And we should probably eventually add some max width there as well, but that's what it is for now. That's what it is for now. Cool. Okay, great. All right. All right, fellas, let's chat a bit. Let's maybe chat a bit. Does anyone have anything interesting to talk about? Because I don't wanna. There's a Christmas party tomorrow at work, so I'm gonna be there tomorrow whole day. So I want to make sure to get some rest. So does anyone have any questions? Anything that they want to discuss? Yeah, there's no home page anymore. How did you get home? There's no home. Maybe you bookmarked that 25 gold. There's no /home doesn't exist anymore. So maybe you bookmarked that thing before or something like that. Right. Yeah, so home/home doesn't exist anymore. It's now just programmer network when you go there, right? So it's just the root. Yeah, because there's no home/home doesn't exist anymore. Ah, I see. I mean, I could have redirected it, right? It's just that I didn't want to keep that thing around because it's meaningless, right? There's no place like home. Exactly. I was actually recording some video last night, but I didn't finish it. I'm too tired to do it today. I might do it tomorrow. Homeless, exactly. Well, there's no home anymore for sure. All right, let's chat some things. Does anybody has anything they wanna ask about? Share opinion, share something interesting. I'm here. Anybody needs some help, especially you subs and you guys who've been around for so long. Play one game and 25 gold and all of you. Is there anything I can help you guys with? Have a problem with the radiator. I can come bring some tools, fix it up. New World, yeah, man. I was good in that game, but I just played first couple of months when it came out, right? You use catch-all in the server. I don't know what catch-all is. If you mean if I'm using some error handlers, yeah, of course, yes. But you would need to be more specific with that question. This is not server-side rendered app. This is a client and server in this context are completely decoupled. So there's no such thing as catch-all in this sense. My routes are handled by the client, by the front end, not by the back end. So server has nothing to do with how my routes are handled in the client, right? That would be the case if this was rendered in the server. Gladfully and thankfully it isn't. I have a problem with thermostat. Yeah. Just troll the living shit out of me, bastard. But you know, us Slavs, we are best at fixing that shit. Am I not right? My Polish mastermind. Merry Christmas. Exactly, Merry Christmas. Beginner question. Let me actually move this here. Beginner question. Let me read it. Beginner question: as someone who is learning React for the first time, how important is learning how things work behind the scenes? I mean, it's not important initially. Like the thing is, again, as I always say, right? There's always a mix between bottom-up and top-down approach of learning, right? So at one point in time, as you feel confident in actually building things, then you should go back and learn how some of these things work. But besides that, it's not going to change much for you, right? Do you know how a reconciliation algorithm works or not? That's not going to really help you in any way to write better React, for example, right? But should you know it? You should know it because it's good to have some knowledge on how things work, right? And sometimes, you know, these things are not necessarily going to make you a better developer, but they're going to give you some ideas of certain things. So no, so for now, if you're a beginner, just focus on building tangible skills that you can showcase, right? Because again, as I always say in this stream, right, it's easy to talk. A lot of people in these streams, a lot of people that I meet, a lot of juniors especially, they're very good at talking about programming. They learn, you know, they're following their Twitter heroes, they are watching YouTube, but when you have to sit and code things, then it's a different story, right? So the only thing that you should focus on is building tangible skills and building products that people can actually see. That can be your strength, right? Talking about technology, nobody gives a shit if you can talk about things. Until you can sit and do them and show what you actually have done, everything is just a fart in the wind, right? It's like just pissing in the wind. It's pointless. It has no value, right? So just build, and then, you know, just build, and as you gain more insights, more knowledge, more confidence with technology in a tangible way, then go back, and of course you should know. I mean, React is not a language; it's just a tiny library. You should of course be concerned with JavaScript, and you should understand how the language works. You should really strive to learn the language that you use to the best of your abilities. But as a beginner, you shouldn't strive for that. As a beginner, you should strive to build, right? You should strive to, and you don't have to understand everything you're doing, right? Of course, I will play one game. I will be streaming around these days for sure. I will be streaming around these days. But yeah, if you're a beginner, any of you, and if you're wondering what you should do, you should just focus on building. Don't read the theory, because that thing is not going to help you in any way, right? The only thing that will help you is actually building things that you and someone else can use, right? And then walk backwards to theory, right? You have to find the mix, and don't be concerned about understanding every step of the way. You don't have to understand everything you do. There's going to be things that you're going to do, and you're just going to brute force it, right? Oh shit, this works, finally. You will not know for some time while it works, But then over time you will learn why it worked, right? So don't be scared of these things. Don't be perfectionist when learning, because it's impossible to learn all the details as you go. There's so many there's millions of details, right? So just build things and then, be responsible. And, if you see that now you have reached the point where there's too many things that you're doing that somehow work, but you don't know how, then, well, I mean, so basically, I've started coding when I was very young, and in 2008, I started professionally working in this industry. I don't think that there's such thing as, I mean, there are various different types of comfort in this job, right? I mean, when it comes to comfort of programming, there's this trajectory in throughout that you're gonna have in your career, right? Where you just realize certain things. You realize that it's all the same crap. No matter the language or the framework or the library, programming is fundamentally always the same. You're writing if statements and loops and functions, and this is what every programming language and every tool is composed of. Now, the syntax might be different. Some languages might be faster for specific things if you care about these things for certain tasks. But I think that's the comfort that you get. When you code enough of years, you get the comfort of just approaching these things completely like chill, completely relaxed, because you have that experience behind you. You know that you've done it 5 billion times, right? So that is the core difference between, let's say, a junior and a very senior person. Junior developers are very, very kind of obsessed by technology, by framework, by this new library. Oh, did you try this new CSS thing? And for example, I don't give a shit about any of that, right? Because once you try all of these new trends that come every 3 days, right, you realize that it's all bullshit and it's all the same crap for the most part, right? So when you embrace it in that way, then you approach technology a little bit different. And then, of course, as the time goes by, your focus moves from programming to happy customers, to uplifting your team, helping other members, mentoring juniors and seniors alike, right? So your perception towards the job changes, right? And you start caring about other things which are not just programming. Like at my work, I spend probably less than 50% time programming because I'm a tech lead. So I'm in the meetings, I'm, helping others, helping customer success, helping, sales, whoever needs help, right? And this is my motivation. This is what I enjoy doing. I certainly don't enjoy going to work and writing React. I don't give a shit about React, right? So I don't. So when we say 10 years, 20 years, million years of programming, I don't think it really relates much to like, okay, you've been programming for 20 years, you must know 500 programming languages. Absolutely not. It's not about that at all. It's more about just the perception and about things you care and things that you no longer care about, right? So that's why, again, you're gonna see that more junior the developers are and less experienced, they give too much importance to technology, to those frameworks, oh, did you try writing CSS or this or that this way, right? But those things are irrelevant for the most part, right? And as you kind of go year by year by year, you kind of start caring less about this type of stuff, right? Because how many things are you going to try until you, right, realize that, hey, well, this is just the same crap wrapped in a different paper, right? And I don't think that there's ever going to be time in programming when you know exactly what you're doing, right? That's the whole beauty of the job. I mean, there's always things that, for example, when I say this, I don't mean in a technical sense. Every day at work, right, my brain is being fried because, where I work, we operate using objectives and key results, OKRs, right? So my job as a developer isn't give me the task, I do the task, then give me another task. My job is to get the objectives and then solve the objectives and then write code for the objectives, right? So for example, my job, the CTO in my company is going to come and say, hey, we need to increase this number. We need to make sure that the X amount of users who come from here and here, that their, I don't know, something increases by X. And then with your team, right, with your designer, your product manager and stuff, you solve the problem. And the problem, the simplest problem is the coding part. The coding part is the easy part. But solving the customer pains, so that type of stuff you never become comfortable with in a sense, because those problems are universal, and that's why that's why customers are buying your product, because it solves some of their problem. And that is where the hardest thing is, solving these problems, right? So coding part is the easiest part for the most jobs. It is actually getting to the point of what it is that we should code, right? What is valuable, and how quickly can we evaluate that what we're doing is actually valuable? How quickly can we get it out to validate it, and how quickly can we also fail if it's not valuable, right? So those are the challenges of, as you grow in your role and as a tech lead, team lead, CTO, those are the challenges. Not, oh, I got this new task to build a view in a UI framework, right? I mean, that is not important anymore, right? That is kind of nitrogen. Would you consider switching tech stacks at 3? Yeah, I'm not quite sure what you mean, right? I would only change tech stack if there's a business incentive behind it. I would never change a technology just because some YouTuber or some Twitter god or influencer, as I call them, said it, right? So I would never do anything unless there's a business incentive in it. So actually, I started recording a video on something similar last night, but I have a couple of videos on YouTube about it. But I would never change anything unless two things. Unless it provides business value and unless provides better developer experience. And developer experience is always going to be questionable, right? I think that the biggest fallacy when it comes to programmers, especially less experienced ones, is that there's always an assumption that by changing technology, all the problems are going to be solved. This is a huge fallacy. It's a huge lie, because with every change, new problems arise, right? And you know, for how long are you going to keep that language? For a year, 2, 3, 5, 10, right? So would you consider switching text? Not really. I mean, not really. I think that there is nothing better that when you become an expert at one thing. That can be any language. It can be PHP, JavaScript, Rust, C, C++, whatever the languages that you like, right? Any language you choose is going to do the job for 99.9% of companies, no matter what it is. C#, each one of these languages, you can choose whatever you want. I think that, no, I don't think I would, right? I would always stick to the things I know best, because no matter the technology, if you're an expert at something, even if that technology might not be obviously great for specific things, right? You cannot neglect the expertise in something, right? So if you have spent, writing C# for 10 years and now you switch to, let's say, Go, right? You obviously gonna, for some time, introduce issues that you wouldn't do with the language where you're expert at, right? Do you have? I mean, I never worked as an embedded engineer. No. I never wrote drivers or GPU, CPU drivers. I did code a little bit. I played a little bit with Arduino and stuff, and I wrote some code for PCB, and I actually wrote some. I mean, the closest that I wrote when I worked as a Cisco engineer in 2008, I was programming Cisco switches and routers, so that was the closest to something that you would call embedded, right? But I think a catchy nickname, don't take me wrong, man. I think learning new languages is fun. And mostly from the perspective that it can enforce your knowledge in your own language. So for example, let's say JavaScript, because we are coding in JavaScript in this stream for the most part. JavaScript has got influenced a lot by C#, by a lot of languages, even Haskell, right? And it's very nice to kind of familiarize yourself with some of these languages just to get some ideas how you can write the code in the language of your choice better. For example, if you wrote some Go, right? Go has so many beautifully implemented things. You know, Go doesn't have exceptions like JavaScript has, you know, so you have to, you know, you handle the error within every function and stuff like that. So there's some of those super tiny things which seem silly but are super good ideas. So you can say, okay, let me try to write, let's say, JavaScript as I would write Go, right? And you can actually, in fact, do that. That is the burden and the beauty of JavaScript, is the JavaScript, you can write that language in any way you want, right? Which is, again, you can say, depending how you look at it, it's horrible, but it's also great, because if you know what you're doing, it's a great language. If you don't know what you're doing, then it's not really a great language, right? Because it doesn't protect you from stupidity, right? And that's what languages like Go do. Golang is very constrained, very defined, well-defined language, and it does protect you against stupidity, right? Yeah, that's how it is. But yeah, nice discussions. Nice. Well, it's not really a discussion; it's more of a monologue. But all right, fellas. Any other interesting statements, comments, whatever? I guess not. I guess not. I'm asking because I'm mostly building web apps, microservices, and cloud, and after 6 years, I feel like a little bit exhausted dealing with the business logic. Well, I mean, low-level stuff is not going to be more fun for sure. So if you're bored with what you said, then maybe, I mean, your boredom comes from other things. I mean, don't take me wrong, I'm not a psychologist, right? But maybe your boredom comes, maybe you're lacking some other aspects of life, which, again, you know, you're just chatting here. I'm just talking random shit, but you know, maybe you have too much of a significance in that sense, right? Or maybe you have to rethink your motivations, right? Cassie, oh my God, look who is here. Haven't seen Cassie in a long time. How you doing, buddy? But game development is a very tough industry. It's a very stressful job. Games get canceled, projects lose funding. Yeah, a lot of younger kids, they want to be game programmers because they think it's like sitting and playing video games all day. I don't think so. I mean, depending what you mean by that, right? I mean, low-level programming is basically getting you get some PCB, you get some motherboard, you get a 700 pages book on how the motherboard is implemented, and then you open up that book with your team, and then you're writing drivers based on the specs, right? So I don't think that's more fun, honestly, but I mean, you don't have it doesn't have to be a binary thing, catchy nickname, right? You don't have to switch to anything, right? Keep writing Java now, maybe one day. It's good that you have opportunity to write something else, right? Busy life became busy. Good, man. I mean, it's the same here, man. I'm also not streaming, you know, that much, maybe 2-3 times a week. Yeah, same standard stuff. You know my schedule already. Wife, kid, job, right? And then the stream occasionally, right? So pretty much the same as always, man. Pretty much the same. I'm happy to see here that you're busy. I think you told me last time you were here that you get a job or something. So that's very good, man. But don't forget to pass by sometimes like this. Just say hi. You know. Always good to see you, man. Always good to see you. Yeah. Well, alrighty, fellas. I can hear my wife is still awake, so I'm gonna go and be a little bit with her. And yeah, I wish you a great rest of the evening or the day, depending where you live. Cassie, I love you, man. I hope to see you again soon here. Just saying hi. And yeah, I'll see you guys another day. Probably not tomorrow. I have a company event tomorrow. Fair enough, Cassie. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that you just passed by. Very much appreciated. Well, Cassie, dude, have a great one. Everybody as well. Thank you, Catchy Name, Solo, and the rest of you. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. Play one game if you're still there. And I'll see you guys another time, all right? Have a great one, guys. Catch you around as well, Cassie. Catch you around, man.